Yo, 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 check me out. It's your boy Jimmy Jam. I'm solo dolo tonight. I was trying to get in with my boys earlier. So I didn't have so much interference. I don't know. I don't know what was up with that connection. I wasn't able to get a connection. So so right now, I'm gonna try to, do something, by myself for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to play some music and let the people know, I really want to kind of, I guess I can get off into a conversation by myself. I really want to address, everything that happened in the media today, this week, with you know, our president. But first, I'm gonna play a little music. You know what I'm saying? Until I can get some eyes on the queue coming in, because I know people probably like, boy, he having some technical problems tonight. So I'm gonna play my boy Mooney Walker, man. Still, I do not own the rights to this music though. So yeah. But yeah, I'm dealing with some technical issues. But um I'm gonna just go ahead and go to rocking on and see. I wanted to I really wanted to address the Trump situation, especially about the picture that he took and how the media and everybody's calling it blasphemy and say he's committing blasphemy and he's doing all this because he took a picture of a of him on a portrait that was really, in my opinion, blasphemy itself. The portrait that he really did. So I don't really feel like he committed any kind of blasphemy on his part by taking that picture and doing what he did. But I do feel like just the situation itself, you know what I'm saying? I really don't have I really don't feel like that was blasphemy, because I just feel like the picture itself was blasphemy itself. But hey, for everybody join, I appreciate you coming in. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I had some technical difficulties earlier. I was trying to do a show with my guys, Big Cap, but for some reason I wasn't able to get in with them. So I don't know what was going on that part. I don't know if you can hear me now, but so I'm trying to get the issues worked out or whatever. Maybe it was on my end, or maybe it was on their end, or maybe it was just on somebody else's end, the internet company. But what I want to do tonight, since I'm by myself, I want to discuss pretty much the Trump situation. Basically, just talking about the picture that he posted and how he come under scrutiny. They're saying that he's blasphemy because he is saying that he was Jesus, and a lot of people said that he was saying he was God because of the photo that he posted. Me personally, I think the photo itself is blasphemy. So I don't think he did anything of a blasphemy order when he did that, because that picture itself is not Jesus. Okay, that was a portrait that some artist, I think Michelangelo, somebody painted that portrait a while ago. I don't know why he did it, but it is not anything of a glimpse description that was given about Christ in the Bible. So I don't feel that that was a blasphemy for Trump to do that. And if he's saying that he thought he was a doctor, he right putting that up. it was like a doctor because, like I said, that picture itself was not anything of Christ. But on the flip side of that, um, just everything that is actually going on in the news, especially with the war and all this, I think it is tied to religion. I think a lot of it is stemmed from religion, is motivated by religion. And I know that, Trump was clever enough to use a lot of people's religious beliefs to in order to persuade them to vote for him. And now that he's he really don't have anything to lose. He don't have another campaign that he can actually run for. So it's like with him, he don't really care about, you know, 2028. Either he gonna take 2028 by force, or he can sabotage it so bad that the Republicans will never be able to get it back. And that's yet to be seen. But he really does not have a care about being reelected. So he has no ambition to fulfill any promises he made during his political run. So right now he just, he fattening up his pockets, making his friends rich, setting himself up. It really look like he's setting himself up to be in power for a long time, to me. With the ballroom and all the stuff that he's building, he's not seem like he's gonna leave that White House in no time soon. But it really seemed like he's setting himself up for a long time of being in charge. But to me, um, going forward, I really believe that this is all, a part of I would say a false prophecy to create a antichrist like environment, to where um really to just really get people in tune with whatever their religious beliefs are. But I think that's the biggest thing that is going to have a lot of people fooled, is their religious belief, because most people have a religious belief of some sort, whichever it is you have. That's your prerogative. You have the right to do that. But at the same time, I mean, your religious belief sometimes can get you, far away from God than you believe. So with this situation, what we have that's going on right now, I truly believe that a lot of people is feeling like they don't know where this Trump come from. But people that been, really just have a discernment, period, will be like, what was y'all thinking about even, before you voted for him? I mean, he's really turning on everybody, including the people who voted for him, the religious evangelicals and all the Catholics that voted for him. I mean, he really just really exposing them. And it's really, to me, it's really a good thing. I mean, I'm really now I can't say it so much enjoying it, but I am really enlightened that I can see how people really are when it comes to religion, and how they can show so much hypocrisy, just right out boldly. And I don't even know if they even know that they are being hypocrites, because of one day they say this and one day they say that, just like all the Republicans that stayed around. Okay, I'm gonna say when Trump came in, a lot of Republicans that knew that they wasn't going to bow the knee to him, they got out. I ain't gonna say a lot, what a few did. They went on ahead and quit. And it's about every one of them now that's that's really kissing his butt right now, they were so critical about Trump, and they've said so many negative things about him to now it's like he's conquered every last one of them that have said anything bad about them. And he made them put down whatever belief system that they had, whatever religion, whatever God that they were serving. He made them drop that and serve him. And I'm not saying Trump is the devil, but his temperament and the way he acts is almost that of the devil. He has to be worshiped. Every time that they go on and say anything, they have to praise him, whether he did it or not. They have to just give him praise and praise and praise and praise. And it is so, like I said, they are showing that they are so much of a hypocrite that it doesn't make any sense. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And it's like nobody have no kind of dignity in that Republican Party. They are just they laying it down. They like, what's up, Mario, man? I'm on here by myself tonight. Boy, I had some issues earlier though. So, I just decided to do something since I'm already out. And so I had some other guys I was trying to go on with, but we had some technical issues. I wasn't able to get on with them. So I said I'm gonna sit on here for a minute, man, and chop it up. Whoever want to chop it up with me about this regime that we have in the United States and how we are showing how much of a hypocrite that we are, that this country, I'm gonna say that the country, I'm not even gonna put myself in there because I'm looking from a side like this is some bullshit. But Trump has pretty much conquered everyone in that Republican Party that said anything negative about him in 2016 when he was running. To if you stayed, then you had to bow the knee. You had to bow down and pretty much give him praise. And every time one of them get on there, they have to, you know, they have to give him that praise. And like I said, I'm not saying he is the devil, but he definitely have a devilish mentality to where he want to be worshipped at all and by everybody who comes his way. You can't say anything negative about him. But I really think when it's his turn to end, I really think he's gonna get the Republicans his ass to kiss and pretty much going off in the sunset with them. By the time he finished, he probably be up there with Elon Musk and a trillionaire. But he definitely robbing this country. And it's real interesting that he actually picking a fight with the Pope. And I think I'm watching this almost like I'm watching a game to see how strong the Pope really is and what he believes in. And will he cave like the rest of them cave to him? And people, I hear the media talking about how he crazy for picking a fight with the Pope and all this and that. But I think it's all strategy. Trump is a strategical man because he's a hustler. So everything he does is calculated. He do things for a reason. It sounds like he just be drunk. Sometimes it sounds like he be high, but that man be on point. He know exactly what he doing, and he doing it for a reason. So I'm waiting to see how the Pope respond. Right, right. Ray say Mario and uses the Bible within his party like slave owners did to our people and the poor. You're right. They definitely they are definitely showing their hand, man, on how they use the Bible, how they use people religious beliefs to control them. It's just amazing to me how all these evangelicals and these Catholics endorse Trump, regardless of the fact that he before the election he paid off a porn star, regardless of the fact that he said all you can grab women in the pussy, they don't mind as long as you're a star, you can get away with it, regardless of the fact that he cheated on all his wives, regardless of the fact that he was running with Epstein before he ran. Everybody knew Trump and Epstein was cool. It's nothing new. It's nothing new at all these pictures been out since the 90s, 80s, I mean the early 2000s and so forth. So everything that you needed to know of Trump character, he showed his character throughout his whole campaign. So for you, for the now you turning on him now because of the war or he's picking a fight with the Pope, it that's you shouldn't even been to this point. It shouldn't have even got to this point with him if you truly believed in the God that you say you believe in, because his character showed from day one the type of guy he was. So I really can't understand how anybody now can say, "Oh, I voted for him 3 times, and now I'm having a problem because you got to pay more at the gas pump." Really? That's your limit, right? That's where you draw the line. I mean, I draw the line at gas. I'm not paying no more than $2.50 of gas. If I had to pay that, then that's why I draw the line. Not the fact that he been mentioned in the Epstein file pretty much more than everybody except Epstein, and that there was ugly accusations about what he done to little girls in that file. And for you not to just kind of believe it or even entertain the fact of believing it based on his character is baffling to me. I just can't understand how anybody cannot just view that and say, well, that is a strong possibility that that's true. That these are Catholic, these are people that say they are people of God, that they endorse this man 3 times. And now he draw a picture, he's put his face on a portrait that was actually blasphemy itself when it was created, and they calling that blasphemy. I don't understand it. I don't. But it ain't for me to understand it, because if I did, I'd probably be a Trump supporter, like a lot of people that supported him, because it's a lot of people supporting him. There's an awful lot of people that stood with him, and supported him through this whole ordeal. But what I don't understand is, now how the war has exposed so much vulnerability that the United States have, and they, powerful military is not everything you think it was out to be. And so Iran is giving you a real hard time in what you got going on. He say, Mario would say he never lied about who he was, what he was about. They took a blind eye because of who was running against him. Exactly. Exactly, bro. I really feel like that's exactly what it is. I mean, and then, they just show how racist they are at heart. You know, I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and we was talking about how racist white people, how they just hate the color, because they hate you on sight. So for you to hate a person on sight, you have to just hate the color of what they are, what color they are. And it's almost like, it's another word past a mental illness. It's a word out there that ain't even been created yet of how mentally ill that is. I just think there has to be some real psychological issues going on for you to just look at a person and just hate them based upon their color. What's going on, Serena? We say he was anti NATO. Now upset they reject his request. Well, that's that's how it goes. You know, that just you can't talk bad about people and tell people how much you don't need them and how they ain't this and that, and now you go and do something, or you were like, oh shit, I need their help. They supposed to be NATO. We supposed to be one for all. Why y'all at? And I'm folk like, Man, you can't you didn't talk so bad about her, talk about invaded one of the countries and taking the one of the country by military force, and now you done went into Iran, which everybody know that was not the right thing to do because of they was gonna control, they was gonna set the straight down. Everybody knew that for years, but I don't know. I think Netanyahu had so much on him that he didn't really care. He didn't have a choice. I don't think he really had a choice. So he did whatever he had to do to satisfy that demon. And when you give your soul to the devil like that, I mean, you don't have a chance to change your mind. So that's what he did, and he in it. But I really think that I think it's gonna work out for us, for black people and poor people, people with skills and people that know how to survive. I think it's gonna work out for the better for us because it's gonna bring us close together. You know, just like family. Sometimes family don't see each other until somebody die, and then everybody get together. And and that's sometimes some family. That's the only time you see your relatives is when somebody pass away. So tough times bring people together, and I think we're gonna be going through some tough times here in the future, to where we are gonna have to come together. And like I say, we know how to survive. We've shown that time and time again throughout history that we will survive because we know how to survive. And a lot of people are not going to be able to make it because they've been so privileged all their lives that things was given to them. They never really had to earn or work for anything, so they never had to create anything. But it's going to become a time where you're going to have to be creative, and you're going to have to be able to stand on your own knowledge and understanding of how to live off the earth. And we are great at that. And there's other few races that are as well, but there are some that don't know how to live off the earth, and they live off of manipulation and dominance through weaponry. And after a while, your weapon's not gonna mean nothing. Your money not gonna mean nothing. Your color is not gonna mean nothing. It's gonna be all down to your discernment, your knowledge of survival, and how you and your determination. And we coming up on them times real soon, especially with the way it's going. And I think we're gonna hit that crossroads come November during these midterms. And however these midterms swing is gonna tell the tale because they are not gonna play fair. Trump is back against the wall. And we've already seen what he would do just from, when his back is up against the wall, he will attack his own government and his own cabinet. He does that all the time. So he will not have a problem with activating the National Guard through these elections. I believe these elections gonna look like the first elections look through when the civil rights movement was passed. Well, it's gonna be it's gonna be tough. That's the reason why he let out all of his people that rallied for him on January the 6th. They free. So he giving them people jobs with ICE. And they just have hatred in their heart. They've been raised like that from generation after generation. So they're gonna have take pleasure in whatever he tell them to do to harm people that don't look like them and don't think like them, because they not just attacking. And this is the thing with a lot of um everyday white people don't understand, especially white women don't understand. They not just attacking Mexicans, blacks. They attacking anybody that does not believe what they believe. That's not lined up with Trump. If you're not lined up with Trump and his policies and how he operate, they're attacking you, and they using the government. which black folk, we used to that shit already. They not used to that. They not used to having the government used against them, but we used to that. We always been like that from the time they laid eyes on us and brought us over here. And the ones that was already over here, that's when they formed their government. That's what they formed their government to do, was attack us. So this entire system was built to keep us, at bay. So that's why I say, I'm okay with if it's crashed tomorrow, if everything go down and we have to survive. It's gonna look bad, it's gonna feel bad, but I believe it's gonna work out for our good in the long run. I really do. But yeah, so I just kind of like say I just want to kind of come on here for a little bit and just talk a little bit. I ain't got much to say, you know what I'm saying? So, but I was having some issues trying to do the other show earlier and I wasn't able to get on with those guys. But I guess we'll kind of try it again next time. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. Let me see who then came in here. Let's see something. Miss 305. Come on, baby. Come on now. What to do, Cook? Yeah. Yeah, I'm rocking the 305 tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me see. We'll see what Mario talking about. So unfortunately, we all have to play for our choices and decisions made by government. You right about that. It's a right and wrong, but on both sides, our system is set up that you have to ride in the times, whether you like it or dislike it, with who's in office until the people are all come out to vote again. But I would never be perfect. It would never be perfect because no one will ever be able to make everyone happy. Yeah. Man, I think this is something I think. Uh, um, I and I might get ridiculed for this statement or whatever, but I think the more and more I think about it, the more and more that I really want to blame the Democrats. And I just, I just remember, when Trump did what he did on January the 6th, I I really felt like when Biden took office, his first order of business, and whoever the attorney general that he nominated, that they first order of business should have been to prosecute Trump, and because Trump was the mastermind behind the whole scheme, and I really feel like if that would have had taken place, we would not be in the situation we in today with what Trump is doing. When you sit back and let 3 years go by and then wait until the last minute to say, okay, well, we're gonna prosecute him now because he say he gonna run again. It does look politically driven. It definitely have the look of you just now you only prosecute him because he's running again. You're not prosecuting him for what he did actually, because if you had done that, that would have been the first order of business when you after your inauguration. But it wasn't. So all of them are dirty. All of them are fucked up. All of them are corrupt. Every last one of them. And the more you look at the Democrats, they can't stick together to save their life. They go against each other, like they say they will eat eat their own in a heartbeat. They do not stick beside each other. The more and more I look at it, the more and more I'm looking like, what is the point to vote? What are they gonna do? You see what I'm saying? They had an opportunity to do something and they did nothing. Right. They always claiming a moral road. There's not much difference between them. They're not. If they want to change things, they would have changed. They would. They would have. So it's like, why do we gonna go to the polls again and stand in the line and vote for them to do what? To do what? They not gonna do anything to these corrupt politicians. The Republican Party got all kind of people in that party that has sex allegations against them. And the Democrats, when they get power back, what they gonna do? Well, we just trying to focus on the everyday American people and get people back to work and get the cost of living down and the gas price down. No, motherfucker, we want to see justice. We want to see that the law applies to every citizen in this country. Everybody in this country is under the same law, and it's not. And we've seen that. And the Democrat is just as much guilty as the Republicans. They do nothing. They do nothing. And I really feel like, and I may feel different come November, that I really feel like holding my vote for the first time since I've been able to vote. I really feel like, fuck it. Let it crash. Let the Republicans win it. Let them tear this motherfucker down to the ground. Because that's exactly what they're going to do, and that's what they're doing. This empire is so big, it will take a while for it to fall. But when it falls, it's going to fall so hard that it'll take another 1,000-something years to rebuild it, if it ever be rebuildable. If. So, that's just something that came to me just because I watch the news a lot. I listen to the argument of a lot of them. And, when Trump went over to Venezuela and stole their president out of there, they have a hard time with truly condemning what they do, what politicians do, whether they white. Black politicians, they don't have a problem with that. But the first thing everybody say, yeah, Maduro was this, he was that, he was this, he was corrupt, he was this and that. But the goddamn dude that your president right now attacked his own government. Tried to kill his own vice president. What the fuck is more corrupt than that? This shit was on live TV. So how can you fix your mouth to say what another country regime is so corrupt when you under the most corrupt regime in the world? Because ain't nobody else running around here bombing countries like the United States are. I don't see it. I don't see any other countries bombing countries, decapitating their government the way the United States are at the moment. So, but even you have Republicans and Democrats will stand up and say that I'm not going to shed a tear for the Anatola because he did this, he's done that, he's done this, and he's done that. But you have a 34 count felon that is your president. No other leader has felonies in the country, in the world. No other leaders have felonies in the world. No other leaders have a 34 count felon as their leader, but the country who claim to be the peacemakers. What peace are they keeping? A piece of steel? What'd you say, Russia? What about Russia? What about Russia, Mario? Putin a felon? So they bombed PA in 1985. Yeah. Gerrymandering is real. That's no doubt. No doubt. There's no doubt. And I want to say they the only country that ever used a nuke, since this is their claim to what they're doing is nukes. They saying that they got to keep Iran from having a nuke, but nobody's ever used a nuke but the United States. So if anybody should be not able to keep a nuke, you would think it would be the United States. He said he was an agent and his people knew, so he's not like the orange man. Yeah. Yeah, Russia, I mean, I can I'm not trying to take up for Russia. You say Cook, their version of peace is as long as you do what the fuck I told you to do. So yeah, you're right. That's their version of peace. But I'm gonna say this about Russia, okay? And nobody really my enemy, but the people who oppress me. I'm gonna be honest with you, because Russians ain't never did shit to me, and Iranians have never done nothing to me neither. So I'm like Muhammad Ali on that whole fight right there. My enemies have been right here with me my entire existence. So, but to say, like you say, Russia is no better. Oh, just think about Russia. United States set up army base right in the front in the back door of Russia, or the front door, whichever, the side door right there. Okay. They are a known enemy to Russia. I mean, Ukraine has one of the biggest nuclear power plants in the West, if not the world. But I think it's the West. Don't quote me on that. I would not want my enemy to have a military base right in my door, because the Russian soldiers, they walked into Ukraine. They didn't have to fly. They didn't have to take a boat. They was able to walk right into Ukraine. That's how close Russia and Ukraine is. So I can kind of understand Putin take on him feeling like he's protecting his country from, we see the killers. The killers, they get close enough to you, they will kill your ass in your own country. So, you know, I can understand him, but I can't never understand war, because the people who actually have the issues with each other don't never get killed. They don't never shoot a gun. They don't never see the battlefield. But you hear somebody say, "Well, these soldiers, they signed up for it. They knew what they were getting into." Whatever I mean, you could say that because you probably ain't a soldier. You probably just either a heartless son of a bitch. But that ain't what they signed up for. Nobody signed up to fight wars because two motherfuckers have differences with each other. That's not why. So miss me with that bullshit right there. But I do understand that better than I would understand anything that the United States have done. Really, I mean, even through 9/11, a lot of people said, the conspiracy said, they knew that was going to happen, and they allowed it to happen to give motivation so they could go to Iraq to change the regime. So and shit, I could believe that. Now, do I have proof of that? Of course not. But I can believe that based upon what I've seen in my 51 years on this earth, and watching the people that govern over us, yeah, to see how they do stuff, right? And sometimes I've been a victim of it. So yeah, I can see that. I can believe that. They did not have no weapons of mass destruction over there. So that was another lie. But I can see that. So I can't say I can agree with with Trump going into Venezuela. I don't see, for you to go. I see if you had a warrant on him, then when he left Venezuela, then you pick him up. But for you to go into his country where he is the president, is that's a crime. That's a crime. Also, for you to go into another country and kill an entire family, that's another crime. So, but you hear Republicans as well as, especially, I mean, Democrats, especially Democrats, when they talk about that, they make sure that they don't forget to say that they won't shed a tear for the Anatola, or what's his name, Maduro, and whoever else that Trump decide to take out because of whatever reasons that they have. I really think a lot of this is um I think a lot of it is more religious religion. It's just they religious beliefs are different. And they like I say, they don't if you don't line up with what they believe, then they want to get you out of here. He said, but your statement was no other country was bombing and trying to take over another country, all of the territory that Russia at one point in time. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. Russia is, you know, they doing their thing. But like Serena said, everybody knew Putin was a killer. You know, this was nothing. You know, there was nothing hidden. He like say he was an agent. Trump was a real estate guy, a reality star. An actor. A reality TV star. But you're right. Russia is another one that is that is bombing the hell out of Ukraine, and really killing their own, really their cousins. Really, they saying they all the same. They all from the same tribes, and it's crazy. That's why when I hear people say black people, we just the worst people towards each other. No, no, we're not. We're not nowhere near as bad as some of these other people that actually kill each other in war like they do, using bombs and all kind of stuff. But you got Russia and Ukraine, they the same, they all cousins. They're really literally. Some of them even know they said that they cousins live over in Russia. So it was really terrible. The loss that lives are lost that Putin put those guys in bad situations. And with then it's crazy because the admiration that Donald Trump have for Putin, he'll do the same right here. He's already showed that he would do that. The man tried to have his own vice president hung, not just killed, but hung. So that's why I just don't, I don't have no confidence, me myself, in the Democrat Party at all. I really don't. And it's nothing they've shown me that will even through all this that would change it. And I know they winning a lot of little elections because people are, surprised that Trump is Trump. Like I think Mario said earlier, he'd always shown who he was. He never changed that. He's always kept that same rhetoric, of, you know, make America great again. I mean, everybody that was black knew what the fuck that meant from the jump. And the thing about they not like their ancestors. The ancestors are just right up, straight up with that shit. They didn't try to hide it. These motherfuckers, they try to act like that's not what it mean. And they didn't they talk about the liberals, but they act like the liberals in a lot of cases, because the liberals are the ones that they pretty much they don't want you necessarily to be in chains, but they damn sure don't want you to be in a better situation than them. So that's why a lot of times the liberals are, are hard to see as an enemy because they come off as real nice and caring. And so they're more manipulative. What you say? Not even the New Deal was for black people. Well, I don't ever think it's ever been anything that was for us. Even the Civil Rights Act wasn't for us. I mean, because white women benefited off of that as well. Even the DEI, everybody say that white women was they was the biggest recipients of that. So we've never had anything that was passed in this country for us, but they have an Asian law, right? That was passed for the Asians, but we don't have We don't have anything that was strictly for blacks, and we've been getting lynched and killed forever and a day and to the day, right now to the day. So, right. Well, we have to renew the civil rights bill. I don't think we have to renew. I just think everything this will be better off when it crash because I don't see Trump allowing it to be a fair election. Um, come November, and frankly, they pretty much get whatever they deserve because you had an opportunity to get him out. You knew what he was about. You got him out, but because your eggs was a little high and um groceries, I guess, rent just went off the roof. The inflation was high, but people were still spending money. I didn't see the roads getting quiet or nothing like that. It was still amount of people on the road than it was when things wasn't that high. So nobody never stopped spending their money, but for some reason we didn't want an old man and we didn't want a black woman or a half black woman. So we decided to go with a 34 count felon who tried to kill his vice president, who rapes little girls allegedly, and is friends with all the Ku Klux Klan heads and all the white malicious groups supporting. We decided that was the better than the black chick and the old man. And now it looks real bad because your gas prices is at $4 a gallon. And now a lot of our children, because I have two kids in the military and two nephews that's in the military, that that's in jeopardy of going over here fighting this war for these people who don't give a shit about them. So now it's a problem. And now y'all want to give it back to the Democrats who've shown that they don't care nothing about law and upholding the law. They don't. They don't. Trump should never even had the opportunity to run a second time if the Democrats had done their job. That's how I see it. Well, I done went on longer than I wanted to. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that came in tonight, chimed in with me. Just wanted to kind of do something since I did come out the house to shoot the show. But like I said, I wasn't able to get in on the other show. I don't know what was that about, but I see like my equipment here working pretty good, and it was doing a lot of buffering. Like the internet was bad. I was thinking the internet was just terrible, but I mean, I've seen like I got a good straight shot here, so it must have been just the connection itself. But I appreciate everybody for coming in, and I'm gonna get up out of here. But before I go, I want to play a little music right quick. One of my partners, man, he kind of
heat wave shook me like an earthquake.
This song from
Reminiscing better days, make those days right now. Cause you hit me like a heat wave, shook me like an earthquake. Reminiscing better days, make those days right now. Cause you hit me like a heat wave, shook me like an earthquake.
To keep grinding. You want me to keep going, Mario?
Cause you hit me like a heat wave, shook me like an earthquake.
What say, fam? Keep it going. Keep it going. All right. Well, I guess I guess I'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. Let's chop it up. So, all right. So, with that being said, I really, I think we say the protection of the voting right requires state action every so often. Yeah, I mean, I get that part, but man, look at the states. Look at the states and how they, and who running the states. You know what I'm saying? Most of the state, none of the states really, standing up to Trump. Trump is toppling every form of the government. Bruh. I mean, he doing some stuff that, it looks like he just got total control by himself. Like I say, he might not be the devil, but he damn sure have the ways of the devil. He definitely operating like the devil. So I mean, people just bow on their knees to him. And he's saying do some of this crazy shit. And you like, damn, really? Y'all stand up here and, and talk to and listen at this dude talk. Most of them people stand up that got Harvard degrees and Yale degrees. You know what I'm saying? These folks are very intellectual people. And Trump stand up there and talk like he straight just hit a Budweiser and a goddamn Marlboro and came in there and did the interview like he straight out of one of them trailer parks. He has no vocabulary whatsoever. His vocabulary is about that of mine, and I don't have a deep one myself. So he really, give you that notion that if he can do it, I can do it. That's one of the reasons why I started doing podcast, because I'm really not a type of person that like to talk around people in a big crowd of people. But I'm like, shit, Trump can get his dumb sounding ass up there and talk to people the way he do. I don't give a damn what people think about me. Then I'm gonna go ahead and try it myself. They say he purchased his degree with no education. I believe that, but he does have like he very strategical. I will say that he might not have the intellect to have a deep vocabulary, but he does have like he very strategical. Like I said, a lot of stuff he do, that shit means something. He don't just do it. That's right. That's how a con man is. Right. He's very conning. And be honest, he going down as one of the greatest con artists in the history of conning. They say as long as the politics is a job, not like it was set up, it will continue to be like this. It will continue to be like this in government. It was set up for them to be the people above the people, not above the people. Uh, yeah, I think it was. I think in our mind, the way we would set it up, we would set it up like that. If we would set it up to be of the people, not above the people, we would. But I think this was set up to be above a certain group of people, and that's the minorities. That's us at the time. It wasn't, all these other immigrant groups wasn't over here when that constitution was set up. That constitution was not set up for us to win off of it. That's why I feel like, it'll be better if it all crashed, if it all just came crumbling down and then being rebuilt from dirt. Because I think that is not it's not work for us, really. You know, when you look at it on the surface, yeah, we look like we winning, but when you go into our homes and our family and our morals of and our values and our worship and the way, our religious beliefs, it's not working for us. Everybody else is winning. Everybody else progressing. Everybody come over here, man. They progress as a whole. We have more individual accomplishments, as individually, but as a whole, they progress. The mess. That's the reason why they attacking the Latinos right now, the Latins. That they came over here. Well, they was here already too in certain parts, which was conquered by them. But they come over here and they do pretty good. They level up. You know what I'm saying? As a group, you know, they they winning. When you go to down in Texas and Los Angeles out west, they dominate. It's nothing for you to go into a total industrial park and it's all Mexicans that own it, run it, and you know what I'm saying, and manufacture it. It's nothing for you to do that. And especially when you coming into this area, it's nothing to go into an industrial park and see it's all Koreans. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to see that. I mean, that's something you see, I see on a daily basis. These people come over here and they winning. They come over here and as a whole they employ their own. You know what I'm saying? And they corporate offices, it's all of them. And they may have us outside and working, doing the labor, but up in that office, it's nothing for me to go into a corporation and see a whole total office full of Mexicans, total office full of Koreans, and a total office full of whites. It's nothing. It's nothing for me to see that, and I'm quite sure. We have places where there are blacks, like Atlanta and Chicago, and even in Charleston, you can see that. But they come in here and they win, and these people over here don't want to eat. They don't want a global economy where everybody is winning. They want it. They want to dominate it. They want to dominate. They want to be on top, and will do anything to stay on top. And I do believe if they don't remove Trump, if things get worse, I do believe Trump will use nuke because he's shown that he don't care about being a hypocrite. They don't care. They'll say one thing today, and the next day it was some shit. Sometime within the same day, they'll say something totally against what they just said an hour ago. So it's almost like it's 2, 3 of them that look alike, and they don't talk to each other, but they say different shit all day about the same matter. So I would not be surprised by one bit if it come to that man would do whatever he has to do to stay in power. He's already shown that one time before. He making jokes about 2028, but he not joking. That man don't joke. The man that showed you. The man don't joke. All Trump care about is money. Money, 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 money. Tupac made a analogy to a while ago. I think it was in 94 or something like that, when he was talking about the world and how this country is one of the richest countries and there shouldn't be nobody poor. People should not be hungry. And he used Trump as an analogy then. Like, is it good to be like Trump, where you push, 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 gimme, 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 take, take, take? That have that mentality. Push, 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 gimme, 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 take, take, take. So a lot of people was, when they referred to Trump, they referred to Trump as money. All the rap songs that Trump was in was about him getting money. They saw money when they saw Trump. They saw him as being, the pillar of money, success. So during that time right there, I mean, that's all you see him line up to, because that's what he's all about. But I heard a person say, these are not my words, but I heard a person say the more you chase money, the closer to the devil you go. The closer to the devil you are, the more you chase money. Because when you out there chasing money, you're gonna get closer to the devil to where the devil will tell you it's all about you. You got to get yours. You got to do what you got to do to get yours. I hear people say it all the time, man. I got to do what I got to do. You know, especially when I was in that life, that's all you hear. I got to do what I got to do. And you know, anybody that been in that life, you know, that's all devil. It's all evil shit. Nothing good about being in the street selling drugs and doing all that shit. And nothing positive about that. That's all wicked. God has nothing to do with that. Because most people that's out there, they chasing money and will do anything for it and will kill you about it. So anytime you line yourself up with chasing money, you're gonna get closer to the devil. You're gonna be close to the devil. Because the devil is the only one promising the money. The devil the one say, I'll give you everything you see if you worship me. So anytime you get into the chasing of the money, that's what you're gonna get into. In this regime, that's all they about. Like say Mario say, power, money and power. That's all they about. Money and power. So, you know, that's what that's the generation we in. And most of the people are right there with him. That's why they voted for him. That's why they like him. Because he is to them the image of success. Everybody chasing money, worshiping idols. And we have come so close now than we ever been, I could say, of really just ending this whole thing. I mean, it just we in a cycle right now. People are still, you know, not taking nothing serious. Make jokes about everything, especially we do. And that's one of the things we do. We do well at. We gonna joke about every freaking thing. We gonna make a joke about it and laugh it off and just really numb ourselves to what's really going on. And we think that if we entertain other things, that these things will eventually just go away. But they won't. They're gonna get worse. And if you're not paying attention, they are getting worse. If you look at your life 4 years ago to today, you might be making more money, but you can't even see it. You paying more for everything. But when you file your taxes, you like, damn, I made way more than I made last year, but damn, it seems like it's rougher. Yeah, you working until you die. You working. So some people working 12 hours a day, 13, 14 hours a day to try to make it work, to try to make it ends meet. We just program. Go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work. Gotta pay bills. Go to work, gotta pay bills. We program. So what you say, Rena? True. Our infrastructure should have the U.S. as the best place on the planet. You're right. We should be. We should be with when you got to pay taxes on every product that you buy. I mean, your house, your car, you buy bought of water, stick of gum. They tax us repeatedly. That's money you just giving to the government for them to do what? Some people can't even afford their health care. Some folk can't even afford the place they stay at. It's the system itself is terrible. Right, we pay the most taxes and make the most wages, even though we have poverty. We all pay taxes on goods and services. Right, you even pay taxes on your health care. So when you take that away, child care. Well, I mean, most of the country, then they say this the best country. Most of the countries got free healthcare. They say Mario said, "I've been all over the world. This is the best place on the planet. That's why everyone wants to be here." Uh, I can't argue that with you because I ain't been nowhere. But I want to. If this the best place, then damn, bro, it's time for the world to end and start over because this is not what we intended to do. It's getting terrible. Man, we're not gonna be able to. They already now making fake food because we running out of food. They got 3D printed meat. But I hear other people that will contest to what you said though about this being the best place. I mean, I've heard, other people say it was other places that was pretty good, like Japan. I mean, at one time it was Dubai before Trump pissed Iran off. Now Dubai is not one of the best places because they bombing the shit out of them. But I can't, like I said, I've never been out of the country, so I can't even, I ain't got nothing to say to that argument right there. If anybody else can contest that, we listening. But I had to take it. I have to take it for what you said because I know you have been all over. But and, but when you look at the system, it's really fucked up. I mean, you should not have to pay taxes on your house, especially once you pay it off. You should not have to continue to pay that once you pay your car. You should have to keep paying taxes every year on it. You shouldn't have to every time you buy something, every dollar you make, every dollar somebody give you, they want it. They want a piece of it. To do what with it? They're not making our lives better with it. That's my thing. If you're gonna take it, just like when you live in a housing area that have a what they call a what they call those people of the housing areas, whatever, they take up money every year. Um, but if you're not making the community look better, then what are you doing with my money? Why do I have to pay you to buy property in this area? I have to pay you to have property over here every year. I can never pay it off to where I don't owe you. As long as I got this property over here, I'm continuously paying you money every year to stay here. Not only am I paying HOA, yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but the HOA, you know, It's like I got to continue to pay every year. It's never a time where okay, I pay so many years and then I'm done. No, it's if you stay in this house 30 years, you will pay these people for 30 years, however much that is per month. You can time that by how many months is in 30 years. Come on, man. This system is terrible. The system is right, extortion. The system is terrible. So at some point, I would like to see a new system. Me personally. I would like to see a new system. I would. I would like to see a system where everybody can win, where everybody are on equal playing fields. Right. He said my neighborhood show every cent we use it for. Yeah. Mine do too. They do. They show it. But I don't need that shit. I don't need a neighborhood pool. I don't give a shit. I don't. You know, all the little scrubberies and shrubberies and shit around there. Sell it to someone so they can upkeep it. I don't really need that. It's not like they offer no protection. We still get our cars and shit broke into. What's up, Frankie? What it do? What it do? I'm, I'm on here by myself tonight, but yeah, I don't need that shit. I don't need all that. I'd rather have my money. I can buy my own pool. You know, yeah, I do. But I say, it's not like we got 24-hour security guard. I can see that. I mean, if we had a 24-hour security guard keeping our cars from getting broke into and shit, I can see the money going somewhere. But really, in my community, all we really have to show for it is a swimming pool. We do have a community, what they call a community center, where you can rent it or use it for events and stuff like that. We do have that. Yeah. You say you have to disagree on the HOA. It keeps up your property value. I mean, I get it. I get it. They do that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, everything got its goods and everything got its bads. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm gonna cut my grass anyway. I ain't gonna have broke down cars in the front yard. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, because that's just the way I was raised. Uh, Frank said she love her HOA. I feel you, man. I feel y'all guys. Y'all rallying for y'all HOA right there. I got you. I got you. I mean, I don't need one. I really don't. And I said if I decide to sell and buy somewhere else, I definitely would not deal with a HOA. I definitely would not never do that again. I just don't like it. I really don't. I mean, I can do something else with that money, and I can actually put that money on my house. Really. Um, right. We can't. I mean, you right. We can't stereotype them. You right. You know what I'm saying? You got some that, some HOA do better. Some HOAs have gated communities where only certain people can get in, and your shit is protected. I get it. Some people don't. I think the one we got is full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it does sucks. It sucks. Everybody over there hate them. Everybody over there do not like them, bro. They don't. They don't. So and when I moved from the other area, it was a HOA over there, and it was like you, and I was like you guys. That's why when we bought that house, I was like, well, HOA can't be that bad because we came from an area where the HOA wasn't bad. Just like, like you and Frankie talking about, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was straight. Really didn't even know they was there, but everything was always straight. Well, this HOA here is a little different because ran by a prick, you know. So I think the difference is in all of making sure your decision making. Also, as black people, we have to use more than zip code to decide where to live. Yeah. Well, I get that part. At the same time, you know what I'm saying? You just a lot of things you go into, you don't know the depths of it until you're in it. So like I said, I didn't realize the depths of this HOA until we was in it. And then, we dealing with them and we came from an area that had an HOA and it wasn't bad at all. So it's not maybe my argument is not so much what a HOA is pretty much probably with who running it. Just like, but my argument with the country is with all of it. Right. Yes, participation is key. So I get how frustrating it would be. Yeah, it will be. It is, man, because a lot of times, like I say, if you get the wrong person in anything, they'll make it rough. Especially people that, are power trippers. They just and some people just not fit to be in certain positions. I mean, we all have seen that before. Yeah, but see the thing about it with us when we bought the house at that time, the HOA was not active, and then when they installed the new HOA, they installed a asshole, really, which I've had to cuss out a couple of times, more than a couple. But you know, run for president. What president? The HOA. Hell no, not me. Not me, bro. I don't want to. I have no desire to do none of that. I'm fine doing what I'm doing. I'm free. She said, "What you say, Frank? Y'all had a crazy guy too. He's so glad when his ass left. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. I feel you. I'll be glad when this dude we got leave. Cause I know we got a petition now going around. Everybody trying to get rid of his ass. Yeah. We say, read the bylaw, remember the person who knows the rules. Yeah. Yeah. But it was a lot of it's just a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like I bring my truck home sometime and they call themselves want to write me up for my truck being in my yard. I'm like, y'all can kiss my ass. My truck gonna come home when I need it to come home. So whatever you got to do, just do it. But you ain't gonna tell me what I can't park in my driveway. And my neighbors are not complaining. If my neighbors were complaining, then say less. You know what I'm saying? I would never bring it home. But my neighbor got two Harley Davidsons, and when he crank them up, it sounds like he's sitting in my damn bedroom. So I know he won't complain. And we all neighborly over there. So like my neighbor said, they don't have a problem because I don't bring it home all the time. But they don't have a problem if I did because it's not that loud. But yeah, even when you have the land right, yes, vote him out. We damn sure try to get him out. All right, we definitely trying to get him out. But it is what it is. But it ain't miserable. But like I said, I just look at a lot of stuff, with HOA. I get, like you said, I get it with like Mario said, it helps keep the community good, clean, make people keep the yards up, and don't have those cars parked on the streets and in the grass and stuff like that. Cause it do look bad when you come into a community and cars are in the front yard on the grass and have been there for 20 years. And a lot of people will leave that just like that, would not have a problem with it at all being on there like that, but I do. But yeah, but it don't say anything. It says about they got a certain area that you can't bring your commercial vehicle home in that area. but it don't say anything about parking in your yard. The only thing it say about your yard, you can't have like abandoned cars in the yard. You can't park on the grass. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't park on the grass. Say you love Fort Mitchell. Really? Okay. Uh no, I didn't. I say, man, I would just I know I hadn't do nothing wrong because it was like, bro, you know, it's gonna be here. I don't know what to tell you. Bro, just y'all can send these letters and these emails all you want to. But they never find us or nothing like that. So but it's just them little threatening letters. But it's in the yard and it's not on the grass or anything like that. Yeah, I know that's what they doing. They doing it now because they came in. From what I understood, when we got the house, they hadn't been active for some years. So a lot of people was not paying it. So when they came in, when the new people was installed, they came in and started backtracking on people who hadn't paid, and they was tacking on liens on people's houses. You know what I'm saying? For unpaid year. I'm talking about years. When I want to say the dude told me it had been like 9 years since they had an active HOA, and they just stopped paying because like who we paying it to? So a lot of people stopped paying it. So they came in and they went back 9 years on some people, man, and taxed them and sent all kind of threatening letters and demanding letters to them about, hey, y'all owe us this amount of money. If not, we're gonna put a lien on your house. So they did. They got lawyers and everything, man, and went to court. We didn't have to go through that because we were just coming into the community and ours was already paid on the property that we bought. It had already been paid by the people who owned it before us. So we was not in that group right there, but it was a lot of people that was in that group that had been over there for years that I think they worked it out. I think they kind of settled it out, or they just kind of okay, they just broke that off and said, well, from the time we took here until now, you owe us for that. So them people was able to get out of that thing right there. But she's was Frank said you lived in Fort Meacham, people didn't follow the rules and they got stupid. So we need the HOA. I feel you because I mean, like I say, that's why I kind of backed off of the HOA thing because it is needed in some areas and some people do need it, but some people will not follow the rules. Like you said, some people won't, like I said, they won't cut the grass, they won't, keep the cars out of the yard, things like that. So that do makes it worse. It do make it look bad, especially when they're your neighbors, when they right next to you. And being down there in that country, things that sit around, they develop critters that start living in it. So I get that part. With the HOA, you do have that help to call them and say, hey, y'all need to get the so and so address. Like we had somebody moved in across the street from us, and they set up a some kind of Airbnb where it was like shit. It'd be anywhere from 10 to 15 strange men at the house, and every one of them had a car. So it's cars all in the road, all on the grass. I mean, it was looking crazy. So shoot, we downed them out. Had to dime them out. Hey, we ain't signed up for this now. Cause we got kids running around, you know what I'm saying, in the streets. These folks, we don't know who these men is. They all over the place. Yeah, he said, yeah, they just enforcing the rules. Right. I get it. Yeah. But right, right. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, so all right. So we didn't cover HOA. So let's we can move what you say, let's see what Frankie said. I know military only, yeah. I think I'm probably the only one on the street that's not military. prior military. They right. That's all over there. It's military. Uh, but a lot of them are renters too, though. So you can tell that a lot of them are renters. So, so it's a great topic for the empty nester. Oh, you're an empty nester. Don't make me jealous. Don't make me jealous. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't rub it in. I'm waiting on that day. That'll be so. I wouldn't know what to do though. I don't. I wouldn't know what to do. Yeah. Yeah. To be how's that? How does that feel to have an empty nest? Mario, I know you ain't gonna know that for a long time either. You got longer than me. Yeah, you ain't gonna have an empty nest for a minute. You'll be about 70. You'll be about 72 years old. Clean the nest. I don't have that much long. I got about 6 years or so. I I, I still be in my 50s. I'm talking about cutting up too. I'm gonna be all over too, boy, when them joker leave. Somebody is trying to send messages. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting up when they leave. So y'all men get bamboozled messing with the women. What so we get tricked. We get tricked in our old age and still be having babies. You so right. You are correct. Hey, them grandkids though. They gonna be with their parents. They gonna be with their parents. I say Jaden the last of the Mohicans. And he finna be 13, so we hitting them teen years. It's all down here from now. It's all down here from there, man. I ain't rushing him though, cause man, I'm gonna be honest with you. When them kids leave, that's when you seem like you worry about them the most. Yeah, it's a scheme Todd cooked up. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, it's how I say. It seems like when they leave, man, that when you worry about 'em the most, man. Jimmy done went and got him a Mustang. I already know he drive like a fool, but I be praying for that boy every day. So I say, man, you worry about them more when they gone. Yeah. But you be glad they, on their own, but man, I still got them on where I can see their location though. They still let me keep their location, so I am able to see them moving around. So I like, let's give me that little peace of mind right there, so I won't be hounding you. But I do need to see where you at. So I definitely keep that location on. They let me keep it on them, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so I ain't rushing. I ain't rushing Jaden and Suge out. I ain't rushing them out. I definitely ain't, especially with what they going out into. So I want to definitely keep it, keep them as long as we can. So how old are who? How old are me, Frankie? I'm 51. Just hit that 51 a couple months ago. Uh, Yeah, as I said, I definitely don't want him to go nowhere right now. But no, Mario, he the same. Yeah. How old the baby? How old the baby, Mario? What's the last one? How old is the baby? So we can see how long you got. See, was I close? I say you're gonna be 70 when you have an empty nest. Huh? with that baby age. I think you were a baby about what, 10? No, I don't even think that old. About 8. $62. Who gonna be 62? Ty 11 this year, Mr. Funny Man. No, she ain't 11. She ain't 11. He lying. He lying. That baby 8. Like, damn, you right behind me. I don't like that. He ain't that far behind me. But Frankie, how long you been in the empty nest? What you say, dog? I ain't shit. Oh, come on, man. I need you to stay in. I'm tell you something. Them last few years, when my nest empty, I'm gonna come over there all the time with a bottle. Well, listen. We have Frank. You kind of joined us late, and we was actually I was actually talking about. I actually had started off really just talking about what happened over this week about Trump with the picture that he posted his face on. Um, by him saying that oh you've been empty for a minute. She 29. Yeah, so that's what we was kind of that's what I kind of started out with. I actually had a show earlier that I was doing with Big Cap and podcast, and some reason the internet was not whatever the connection was didn't connect me in. Then when I got in, it was so bad, the connection was so bad that I couldn't even hear them. So I got off and I said, well, I then came down here to the studio. I'm gonna do something. So I said, I'm gonna sit on here and just talk to myself. And whoever joined me, joined me. So I had some people come in and join. So I've been on here an hour and a half. I really did not expect to go this long, to be honest with you. But yeah, we was talking about that's what I did want to talk about Trump, you know what I'm saying, and that pitch and everything he put up and him going to war with the Pope right now. It's just all a part of a plan. It's not just coincidentally. He actually have a plan why he doing that, in my opinion. But, you know, that's another show. But so Sunday we will be back. Sunday it will be back. We'll be with the crew. Sunday, 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna get up out of here so I can go to the house. You know, I'm here by myself, so I'm try to get my butt up out of here, man. I appreciate all y'all for coming on. Frankie, Serena, Mario, Cook. I appreciate y'all for coming in, chopping it up with me, man. Making this making something out of nothing, because it definitely wasn't nothing at first, but you know, y'all came in and we had a good little discussion about our government. Frankie, wish you could have joined us earlier, but I appreciate you coming in when you did. So I'm looking tired right now. I am tired. Really, I'm a little tipsy because I did take a nap today when I got home. You know how it is, bro. You get in, you gotta get a nap. You know you're gonna have a late show because we were gonna do a late show anyway. So I knew the show was gonna go on about 9. So I said, bro, I'm finna get me a nap first. And then I got up about 6, 7 o'clock. And I come in here, man, and everything, I'm talking about, I couldn't get nothing working right. So I said, I'm gonna see how this work, without that. So, but I think everything seemed like it's good on my end over here. So maybe that was just something with the connection with the internet, with its two streaming sources wasn't mixing up. But like I said, man, I appreciate all of y'all chiming in with me. And like I say, join us Sunday at 6 o'clock right here on In the Mirror Live podcast page, Facebook. Out.